I'm multitasking right now.
All right, hey everybody, welcome to another stream. I actually got a topic this time, and I got E-Man with us, got Rain on the Plains, and Jason will be joining us as soon as he gets his computer up. He'll be jumping in here as well. And so, how's everybody doing so far? You guys are having a great day. We're in triple digits here in Sacramento. This probably, I don't know, about 6-7 days we'll be in a row. 103 yesterday. I'm not quite sure what it is today. So far we got Greg Candace in the room. Greg Candace, you've missed E-Man's stream 2 weeks in a row, brother. This stream's for you. So hopefully tomorrow you're around at what time, E-Man? 6
o'clock.
6 o'clock your time, which is Central.
Yeah, I am Central.
6 o'clock Central. E-Man does a stream every Thursday at 6 o'clock Central with me, Jenny Purty, and well, it was Craig if he shows up again. He's in the chat room. We got Stonebender in the room. What's up, brother? Love you. Tammy Sanford. Hey, beautiful. Medela Health and stuff. How are you doing? Nice to see you here. And we got a few other people lurking. So, hi, lurkers. Nothing wrong with lurking. I do it myself. So
me too.
Today we're going to talk about so bad with words.
Integratron?
Integratron. I don't know why all of a sudden I couldn't say that word. Integratron. Thank you. Integratron. I saw this on a PBS show the other day. I was watching, laying down and put the TV on, and wow, it just blew my mind. So this is something that's new to me. Rain on the Plains has said that she's seen it before.
Now, you know what that sounds like to me? When you said it the first time, I didn't even notice it, but when you said it, I started thinking about the Transformer. That sounds like a Transformer.
Right? Yeah. That's kind of what was going through my head when I was reading it. Yeah, well, simple words for some. Tammy. So, so Rain saw the episode with Anthony Bourdain in it. That he went to it. So
he went with I think the lead singer of the band Queens of the Stone Age. They went and visited it.
Yeah, I also seen that like a writer from Huffington Post went, and a famous writer and photographer went for National Geographic. She did something there. And I know there's other celebrities were there. And when it was actually operational, it's not operational right now. Not what it was intended for, the way the original owner and the builder, creator of it, he had it actually functioning properly. They don't know how to make it work, but we'll get into that. So what I'll do is here, I'm going to share my screen and kind of show you guys just some of the basic information on it. To that. Well, I'll start with this. And then let me know when you guys see it up on the...
I see it.
All right, hang on. I got to do this.
Chat might be a little after me, but...
All right, so...
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Rain.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Cowboy.
So we just started, and I'm pulling up just the Wikipedia part of the information on this.
Yeah, sorry I'm late, everybody.
That's all right.
I tried to get home earlier, but it wasn't gonna happen.
I'm gonna start calling you Candace.
No,
Craig.
no,
Craig Candace. I'm talking to Craig.
Oh, you got two different things going on at once. What are you doing? A double phone call or what?
No, I'm reading the chat.
Oh,
I popped out the chat so I can see the chat. All right, so this structure was created. Is it not showing? This is why. Okay, there we go. This. Hang on.
not a bad idea. I think I'm gonna pull up the chat too.
Why is this on? This is crazy. This is not what I had pulled up earlier. It changed on me.
Oh, that's so funny. Do you have another
Seriously,
tab?
Why would I have Nelson Mandela pulled up on my wiki? I look at.
It is his 100th birthday today. Did you know that?
Okay, here's the thing. I had all these pulled up for today. I got the actual website, right? Information on it, pictures, and I had the Wikipedia pulled up for it. I didn't. What the heck? All right. Well, see, there you go. I just hit the backspace, and there it is. I don't know why it changed. Okay, so let me get to the guy's name. All right, George Van Tassel. All right, he was a former aircraft mechanic, flight inspector, and he bought some property and he went and did a homestead out there in the Mojave Desert. And on that property was the Giant Rock, right? The largest freestanding boulder in Mojave Desert, directly adjacent to Landers. And this is out by Landers is this property. And so what happened is he started seeing a lot of spacecraft and everything, UFOs at this Giant Rock. And so he started doing Giant Rock spacecraft conventions and so forth, and he was really into it. And then he said, according to him, right, there was UFO aliens that came down and pretty much told him, hey, I love you people, but you guys are kind of stupid. This is I'm just kind of going off of what they were talking about on the PBS show. And they said, but we're going to help you out. And they gave them the information, the knowledge, right? It sounds familiar, right? Like CERN, D-Wave. We're going to give you the knowledge on to build this. And it's going to be a time machine. It was originally created as a time machine. That was the original plan. And I'll show you an article on that here in a bit. And for rejuvenation, meaning that what the purpose of it is, according to them, is that when it was fully operational and spinning, that people would not go and sit in it and stay in it. They would come in one door, simply just walk through it while it was running, and walk out the other door. And people were having cancer cured, back pain, allergies, and it would take up to 10 years off their life, according to the stories from when he was actually running it properly, the way it was intended. Again, he got this information. Some of the things he used was the high voltage, and I found this interesting. High voltage is actually harmful. So You got the high voltage. He used all his technology he got from Tesla. And, you know, we all remember Tesla saying that he got all his information from the aliens as well, right? And, you know, I believe aliens are just fallen angels. So you can see some of the technology here he used. And this is probably more of your field, Rain, all this technical stuff. So, I mean, if you want to jump in any time with this that I'm pulling up, feel free. You want to go into more detail on these, the Tesla coil or anything like that. He used this. Go ahead.
We'll see. The thing is these fallen angels or these Nephilim or whoever they want to call them. You know, everybody get used one way or the other. Either you get used by God or you get used by an enemy. And a lot of people don't like to hear this, but God gives blessings and the devil gives blessings. Only difference between the two is God's blessing don't have any strings attached. That's gonna make it detrimental. The devil blessings only has expiration dates, and so that's why I think they can't operate the experiment because the agreement was between him and the enemy, and so he had his reign. See, sometimes people ask for a loan contract, and sometimes they don't even know what to ask for, so they just want the information or the popularity or the benefits, but they don't.
Kid. No man. Where's the charger? Give me a charger.
And so that's how it. I said that's how it goes. And so that's what I believe. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and you have to wonder, you know, why are they, you know, why they have to have the fallen angels have to have some ulterior motive behind it to give humans this information. It's not just because they want us to have the information. It has to be of some benefit to them, you know, which I think, you know, we're starting to see why they've given us all this advanced angel technology or whatever. You know, we're starting to see more evidences of that all the time, but you know, it's to benefit them, it's to benefit us. I think it's to benefit us and it's not.
Well, they make it seem like it's going to benefit us, but it does benefit them more than it does us. And the really fun thing about it is 100 years ago, we had more fundamentally sound technology than we do today. All right, today we've got smartphones and computers and all this garbage. All right, the antenna that's in your smartphone is basically a miniaturized Tesla coil, which is designed originally to take his first experiment with the Tesla coil, took 9 volts and turned it into 10,000 volts. His second experiment took 9 volts and turned it into 1,000,000 volts. Extremely low milliamps, so it wasn't really dangerous. Now, he proved you could produce lightning from a 9-volt battery. Now, granted, he was using, the power that he had available at the time was 220. Single phase 220. That's what he had to work with his Tesla coil. But he was producing millions of volts. And you could send that voltage through the air. Who does that benefit? Not mankind. Otherwise, we wouldn't have power lines. We'd have Tesla towers up, for lack of a better name. But we'd have these towers up so that we could harvest the power that's coming through the airwaves. We could actually do that today. We've got the technology. We're not going to produce much voltage, but we've got the technology to do it. called an FM radio or an AM radio. All that's doing is taking a frequency out of the air and converting that into energy. That's all that's doing. Tesla invented that back in what, 1901, 1902? And he gets stomped on today. He got dissed back then, and he's getting stomped on today. The thing is,
some of it was even before that. I mean, that's, the whole thing with whatever he did in his hotel and stuff, which a lot of people, this is a side note, probably don't want to get into it, but just as a side note, an ME for me is that I had a memory that Tesla died before 1900. Nobody, a lot of people remember that, but, some people don't. And so there's a lot of this stuff came afterwards, but.
For me, it was 1923. Broke. Flat broke.
So.
But
it's later than that in this time. But it's later than that in this timeline, isn't it? Like something like the 40s or something. I don't know. That's just a side note. But anyway, we don't have to get into it. We can research it later.
Yeah. We are digressing. This is what happens when you put so many bright minds together on your show.
Well, I want to kind of go over. Yeah, you were talking about. Yeah, Tesla had the technology for the free energy, what, the 20s or whatever, and why the telephone poles, why all this. I mean, now we got the 5G rolling out, right? And what does the 5G use, right? The 5G use short range and very tighter frequencies than the large band, and that's why they have to put so many. They're putting them up every 2 to 10 houses because the shorter frequency waves, they can't go through trees and buildings. So this is what they're saying, take it for a grain of salt, why there's so many, so that they can direct around these obstacles and they'll give you 10 times faster internet. But what I find interesting is that on this whole building this guy created, he was just a aircraft mechanic, right? He actually started building this actually in 1950 when he first started building this. You just have your typical aircraft mechanic getting information in 1960 that built this. So think about the technology of the top scientists and the top physicists in our world getting together in today's world. If this guy could just go out in the middle of the Mojave Desert and build a machine like this in 1960,
That's kind of what scares me about CERN and Fermilab, which that's a whole other subject all by itself, is that those two places have the brightest of the bright. All in one place. All doing the same
Fermilab
exact
is basically
thing.
just a little brother of CERN. I mean, it's like most of their projects are funded by CERN and backed by CERN scientists. So
yeah, and it was the Fermilab was the predecessor. That was the prototype. The one down in Dallas or outside of Dallas somewhere. I went to that accelerator and I took a tour of that thing. And oh my God, I thought that was huge when I went there when I was 11 years old, and I was having a ball. You walk past one of the magnetrons and the hair stands up on your arm, and that thing's not even on. Could you imagine the power output of them things whenever it's on?
what was their excuse for never finishing it or whatever happened?
No, so he died before he completely...
No. Well, I was talking about the Dallas accelerator, but...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know we're getting off topic. I sorry.
The reason they didn't finish the one down in Dallas was while they were digging the circle. They were still digging the circle out while they were building the accelerator, and were putting the accelerator together. I mean, it was at 75% completion on the excavation. It was 45% completion on the accelerator itself. they found an Indian burial ground and had put a halt to the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. That would. Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
okay, so
and
getting back to the Integratron, that guy died like in '78, right? And what did he need to finish? I can't remember. I read it, Cowboy, but I can't remember
Let me see if I went back to.
because he had it operational, but it wasn't completely finished, or he did some ring around it or something like that. I don't have access to something I can look at right now, so.
Yeah, I was just saying in the wiki. I mean, I'm sure maybe we'll pull up some more information as we go as what he needed to do still. But I mean, I know that he got it operational enough to where it was the rejuvenation. I'm not sure. I don't see anything that I've read so far of anything about the time travel. The only thing I've seen was an article that it was originally built for time travel. That was the original goal, and I think that's probably what I'm guessing is because I can't find anything that actually any stories of people doing any type of time travel through it. So I'm thinking that's probably the part that he didn't get to finish that physicists are dying to get their hands on right now.
Maybe he time traveled in 1978.
Well, it very well could be. Yeah, right.
People don't think about that, you know. I mean, I'm only half joking.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Only have joking. Well, the
This
thing is, it's actually theoretically possible to do.
Oh yeah, I totally believe in time travel. It's just a dimension, and once you know time, space. I mean, I think that they can. That's my opinion. I don't know how exactly, but I'm you know, I really do think they can. This is the room, the upstairs part of it. This is all wood. Everything in this is made out of wood except the outer part was the ring. I'll show it here in a second. This middle part right here is the center. And during the PBS show, the acoustics in this room are unbelievable in itself. But when he stands directly in the middle of this, the frequency is like no other frequency, completely different than anywhere. The sound of his voice and the frequency of his voice, everything changed in the center of this, which I thought fascinating how that worked. Yeah, so this whole thing is completely built out of wood to get a better, I guess, the frequency they were talking about. Why no metal inside, no nails. Everything is mortared together. Absolutely no nails or anything like that for this structure when they put it together. And the outside ring, so this outside ring right here, actually what it does is it spins, which then creates the frequency they desire or needed for rejuvenation and I guess potential time travel through this. And this is the only metal on it, on these arms that spins. And there's another,
or at least there might be metal other places, but at least it's non-ferritic is what, you know.
right.
But I think you're right. There was no metal fasteners used to construct it.
This right here, when it's running, is actually lightning that constantly goes from this little piece to another little piece on the building, and it's like a current, continuous current that runs. So I mean, pretty intricate for some guy that talked to some aliens at a rock that right that got this information to build all of this, right?
You know, if he'd just waited 20 years later, he could have talked to us.
This is the lower floor here.
What the?
This is the lower floor, and this is the bottom This is the bottom of that floor we were just looking at, the top earlier. And you just go up these stairs to the top part. And this whole thing, this whole floor right here spins.
It's not very big. I think it's like 55 feet wide.
Yeah,
And
it's
and then the top part is like 35 feet tall. I think that's what I read. So it's really not that big of a structure.
38 feet tall, and the diameter is 55 feet.
I want the building specs for this building because me and my boss are thinking about building an observatory for a 24-inch telescope, and that building be perfect for it.
Right? Look at this. He's even saying that it's anti-gravity. They didn't mention that in the show. Oh.
We have the technology
Well, it wouldn't be
now.
surprising to me because of the way he got his information. I mean, why would just an ordinary Joe be able to build something like this?
Oh, look at that.
Well, a bunch of ordinary Joes built a anti-gravity skate park. It's copper cladded, and the skateboards float over it. There's no wheels on these skateboards. They're literally hoverboards out of the Back to the Future movies. So we have the technology now.
Right.
I could see that actually being an existence, back in the 60s and 70s.
So
Is
here
it
we go.
like-
We've got the shh from the
I'll be right
elite,
back, guys.
the finger over the lips, the shh, be quiet symbol they all use. I thought that's kind of
Oh yeah.
right?
I should have done a screen grab on that.
So these two sisters now own it, and what they do is they just have people come and lay down at about 20 minutes, and these crystal bowls, they just take their wooden stick around it, and it creates an acoustic sound from each bowl, and they call it a sound bath. So they don't even have this thing running properly. All they do is have people come in and lay down in this on the top here and play which I think, I mean, I don't know if this thing can really do what it's intended for. I don't know why they're just sitting on it making money off of it. Really, they're just for their own money. The reviews I read about it, they said that it's really nothing. You go lay down, relax, and sounds cool. So they're not even using it what it's what it was intended for at all right now. They're just making money off of it.
Were the cases documented where people were cured of cancer and stuff like that when he had it running as it was intended?
I haven't
pretty well documented.
I haven't. I don't have anything pulled up yet on that. I have to do a little bit more research on that part. I'm just going off of what the PBS show had on, talking about it when he had it functioning and the results from that. And there were people lining up nonstop when it was operational. A lot of celebrities and very famous people back in that time when he was running it. But when I tried to research famous people, the only thing I was getting is recent with Bourdain, of course, and obviously he went to this, but he didn't go through it how it was intendedly supposed to be ran when the guy did it. But there were very famous people that when this thing was operational under the creator, Van Tassel, that they were lined up and all they did was just walk through one door to the other door. That's it. They didn't just walk through it while it was running. Now they have these things where you could go spend the night in it and everything, and of course it's nothing compared to what it was intended to be. So here it was turned into a disco before they owned it. That's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
So the previous owner turned into so you can see look at this technology that's just sitting there. It's killing these people that want to get their hands on it. And there's people that just, no, it's a disco. No, we're just going to listen and have a sound bath. Who knows what this thing really got in right or I guess wrong hands. I don't know.
Yeah, it
That's
seems to
funny.
me though that most of these physicists and stuff are backed by the government. You'd think that they would offer them just such an inordinate amount of money, for it that they couldn't refuse it, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just maybe they just want to run it for the novelty of the thing for a while and then they'll give it over,
right.
which who knows.
Yeah. Where's the picture of the owners here?
Hey, cowboy. If you go
Yep.
down to the bottom of your screen and click on your little avatar, it'll
Yeah.
highlight the box. It'll lock your screen so it won't be jumping back and forth between everybody's stuff.
I thought I did that. No. Okay. Shoot. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
you gotta look for that big white box around your icon.
Yeah, I have it. It's surrounded in white.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
Rain's
when
every time.
when
When Rain talks, it kills it.
I think you have to do it too, Jason, because see, I have Cowboy's white around his icon. You have to do that for Cowboy. Push his icon and
I gotta do it.
yeah.
Okay, there we go.
I mean, he
Now I
does
can see
too,
it
but
all.
yeah, see, because I had mine locked so that my icon wasn't coming up.
Okay. There we go.
Here's
That'll
the
do it.
Hey, hang on. Before I go any further, let me check the chat. So,
We got a lot of good people in here today. We really do.
So we got Jenny Purdy, we got that's Cutie Kitten, Craig Candace, Salty Cedar, Mrs. Scrappy Yap, my brother Stonebender, Preliminal. What's up, brother? Craig Candace, Gaddis, Goddess, Candies. Call them Candies. Sorry for hacking your name up. I'm bad with names, Craig. Sorry. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody else. Oh, Medela, Health and Stuff, Tammy Sanford.
We got to love Mandela Health and stuff.
Sorry, I'm usually much more into the chat room, guys, but when I'm screen sharing, I don't have it up all the time, so apologize.
We got preliminals in the room. We got Salted Cedar, Stonebender. How do you bend a stone anyway? Oh, wait, never mind. I do that every day at work. I'm trying to, let me pull up the participants here. I think we got everybody. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see the chat at all, so I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to participate. I might be able to later on or in a few minutes, but as of right now, I just have to listen to what you guys are saying about the chat.
I'm going to start calling Craig Gandalfs.
All right, so here's one of the sisters. I don't know how long this is. Let's see. I won't play the whole 10 minutes.
And Yogananda had a connection with the Integratron in that he had a retreat house out in 29 Palms, east of here.
So this is one of the owners, her and her sister.
Dome had 3 daughters. All 3 of his daughters married direct disciples of Paramahansa Yogananda and lived in this area quite some time, helping to build the dome. Daniel Boone, who is one of his first disciples in America, as a matter of fact, is actually still alive and still lives next door to us. Old man with a long white beard and the most crystal blue eyes you've ever seen.
So I'm gonna play all this.
His name was Richard.
You guys,
and he was a little bit of
this and just play on your time.
Crazy scientist, and in the Da Vinci way.
I haven't played these yet, so I thought I would check them out. I mean, we can look at them more, but she just mentioned something I wanted to get back to that I saw. Um, see where I saw that. Shoot. He mentioned Moses. Something about Moses. I'm trying to find. When you were doing any looking up, did you remember anything about Moses, Rain?
I think it was in regards to that order that had the plaque, the Clampus
Yeah.
fetus.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. I'll put that up. This is the plaque out in front of it. I'll make that.
If you go to Wikipedia, yeah.
Where did it go?
It was just up. Where'd it go?
Yeah, I saw it for a minute.
Here we go.
Yeah, the Wikipedia page has it, and then you go to that E. Clampus fetus or whatever.
So can you guys read that? Okay.
Well, it's up, but it's probably too. Well, if you're on your phone, you probably won't be able to. If you're on a computer, you can.
So the Integratron is the creation of George Van Tassel and is based on the design of Moses' tabernacle, the writings of Nikola Tesla, and the telepathic directions from extraterrestrials. This is actually a national monument now. I mean, think about that. A national monument dedicated to somebody based off of Moses' tabernacle, Nikola Tesla, and extraterrestrials. Like, that's just normal. That's just a normal building site direction on on time travel and rejuvenation. Yeah. I mean,
think about it. Look at the Mandela effect community. I mean, you just described 80% of us. We're an odd group, but I don't think any of us have built a time machine yet.
Okay, so here's something you were talking about earlier, Rain. I don't know why I want to keep saying that word differently every time I look at it.
Integratron.
Integratron is located on an intersection of powerful geomagnetic forces that, when focused by the unique geometry of the building, will concentrate and amplify the energy required for cell rejuvenation. That's crazy talk, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it's built on an intersection of some strong ley lines.
Yeah, and if we go back to Wiki, you could, I don't know, here's the coordinates of it. I'm not good with coordinates and what the meanings of it.
Where's the little
I've never been able
to...
I've never really been able to find a really super duper good site that has exactly where you can zoom in on the close-up of where all the ley lines are. I wish that you could do that, because that would be really interesting, I think, for a lot of people. But
actually, if you go anywhere in England, Scotland, on Google Earth, and zoom in to about a mile above the Earth, they're everywhere.
Well, I know, but they don't have
anywhere
ley
in
lines
America
marked on Google Earth, do they?
No, but you can see them. You can see them.
Oh, really? Wow.
Between a half mile to a mile, you can actually see these things on the ground. It's like, holy cow. They dug trenches to make sure that everybody knew where they were. And I'm going, wow, this is neat. I didn't know all this till like last year, and I'm going, wow, hey, that's a cool pic. What kind of cloud formation is that?
Yeah, really, that was a really cool pic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself for just a minute. I'll be
All right.
back though. Oops.
You got to go yell at the kids, right?
I was trying to get a picture of the overhead because it's like really weird looking. It's like a circle.
Hey, we've had Char K in the house now, and Mikey W, Mr. Peanut showed up.
Hey, welcome you guys. I can't see the chat. So here's the above. So I'm pretty sure that these demonic fallen angels told him exactly where to start building this and the exact location, the exact center of this thing should be.
He probably just got out there with a punji stick and just started looking for water. The thing just planted itself in the ground. And said, this is where I'm going to build something that nobody else has ever seen before, and I'm just going to build something crazy and make everybody believe in it.
Right.
Because you know what? If you make you get enough people that believe in it, it will become fact.
But you got to remember now. You got to remember this. The 1960s. If you talked about aliens and being visited by aliens in the 1960s, you were cuckoo, right? You were out there. That was kind of one of those conspiracy theory nut things. Now today, if you don't talk about it and believe in it, you're a nut. But back then, no. That was like, hey, don't talk about that. Don't say it. We don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? So for him, you know, to do that, and you have your celebrity showing up, you know, I mean, there's something to this thing, for sure.
Yeah, well, maybe they did do some stuff with time travel. Maybe that's why you see pictures of JC and all these. I'm just joking. I'm just saying, you never know. I mean, he may have gotten that part of it to work, but it just didn't talk about it or whatever. I don't know.
And I find it strange that this is north of, the Joshua Tree part, and they used Moses, tabernacle, extraterrestrials, time travel, rejuvenation.
Cowboy, I find it interesting that says the integration is the fusion of art, science, and magic, because that's kind of what CERN always says too. Like art and science, go hand in hand, and all this, the arts. So that's interesting to me to read that.
Well, that was a common word when I read all the what people talked about, that it's very magical, a lot of magic. That was a common phrase.
Oh, it's magic, all right. I don't black magic probably.
And then look at who you get to go there, right? The yoga and the meditation groups. Yeah. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I can still do the splits.
Okay, here's the two sisters. These are the owners right here with Anthony Bourdain. So he went there on his show. Here's the PBS guy. This is what I watched, this series right here. This is when I watched it the other day that gave me the idea to talk about it, because I just was like, this is like CERN, a little tiny CERN built by some dude in his backyard in 1960. It's just trippy to me.
Yeah.
And it just makes you realize, like, what they're doing today, or what the physicists had the knowledge to do back in the 60s and 40s, and what they're doing today, they're not telling us.
I mean, back in the 60s, back in the 60s, quantum mechanics and quantum physics were still back in the Stone Age. Now with quantum physics and quantum mechanics mixed in with astrophysics, I mean, all the theories are there. Most of the math is there to make it work. However, the technology to make it work was lost back in the 20s and 30s.
Well,
I hate to say
it seems like if you want to call it timelines or whatever, which, that's a debatable term, but seems like with each timeline you jump to, it's
Yeah, really.
the technology increases every time we jump. Like to an earlier, like it was more known. The earlier we get, the more we jump, or if you want to call it jumping or shifting.
I'm so sorry, y'all. I had a call
That's
from
all
a
right.
pastor. I had a call from a pastor, and he was talking. We was just talking about what y'all talking about, and he was like, TD Jakes was telling them, don't worry about if the boat go down. If you just grab a hold to a piece of the boat, you can get saved. And so I was telling him, well, he know what's going on, and he just telling them, no matter if the Bible changing, if you can get just some of the word, you can get saved.
I mean, the boat you're speaking of, I think I know what you're talking about. The boat you're speaking of is in our heart to begin with. You just need to embrace it.
Well, and it's faith in Jesus Christ. Faith in Jesus.
And so that's why I didn't come back so soon, because we would just keep talking. I said, well, I know they doing fine. They doing good over there. I said, he a pastor of a church that's got a whole lot of men. And if I can get that one man, just seeing some of it, that's extra help that's local, And I think I was saying earlier, if we sometimes schedule a Mandela effect, just get together with at least 1,000 people in one location, we can bring attention to this situation. Even if we just make signs with all the Mandela effects and walk down some streets, and then that'll bring attention to the situation. And I think that would need to be done, just like they protest when they get news coverage and people get interested. If we can get 1,000 of us to get together and organize, get some Mandela Effect T-shirts with at least the top 25 Mandela Effect, and walking down the street and handing out literature and just doing it, I bet we can open up a whole lot of people's eyes.
I'm a small potatoes guy. I do that. I don't walk down the street with the sign, Child of Light. She's a small potatoes girl, but she does that. She walks up and down the street holding signs. In fact, YouTube even made fun of her. They made an ad about
but
her.
That's because she's a single individual. We have powers in numbers. Because then it's like, well, man, it must be something going on where all these people ain't all crazy. And that made people start thinking. And so, that's how we can get the message out, I believe. Have people start at least opening up. Because we got
August 7th in Reno. I can't get there, but there's going to be a gathering.
I know we got at least 1,000 people. And if we can't all get together just to enlighten people, we know we ain't got to all like each other, We all may not even communicate with one another all the time, but we all know things are happening. We do know we do have that in common. When we may not have, uh, we might have dislike with one another sometimes, or differences in the philosophy, but or the cause. And some of them may have some hidden agendas, but I believe 1,000 of us get together. It ain't got to be 1,000. I think 700 to 800, because that's a nice crowd, and that draws attention. And we don't have to be disorderly. We can actually file the right paperwork to do the protest.
Yeah, Stonebender brought up a good point with all of us getting together. Is that we are way spread out. We're spread all over the place.
I know, but like I say, that even makes it better, because it makes it feel like it's important. If we can come together and we know we spread out like that, and that's saying then that becomes a national thing, because this is people all across the land, not just in one area, not in just one city, but this is all in every city. So this is just not affecting one civilization or one part of the United States. It's affecting the whole world. And so if we can get people to just do that's a saying that this is a global thing. It's not just a little bitty piece of cake.
Yeah, Char, I agree with you. When you just meet one other person, it is a wonderful thing. And doing my job, I meet all kinds of people all the time. And I love setting tile. And I meet a whole new family twice a week. Because I'll have a 2-day job here, a 3-day job there. It's all stacked up, so I'm busy all the time. And I meet people on the weekends, and I've run into a bunch of them up to the people just doing my job. I'm getting emails from 58 different countries.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how I got. Well, I know how my email got out. I know how that got out. I put it out there. Other people have put it out. So I'm willing to talk to anybody. And it might be a one-question email that I could answer. It might be a full-blown conversation. It takes months. And it doesn't matter who you are. Anybody can just stumble across it and go, I'm confused.
And
80% of the time, all I could do is tell them I'm confused too. I've got my own show on YouTube, and I'm confused.
and I know a lot of the communities have financial hardship, or they're living check to check, or they're not in the means of taking out of their regular everyday thing to do that. But that's why you have things like GoFundMe. And so we can have a GoFundMe Mandela effect a protest. And all the proceeds that comes in for those, and see now, this is where honesty come in, because if you can afford it, do it. Don't be saying I can't do it because you see funds there and you take away from somebody that really do need it. This is where honesty come in, and I know you're gonna always have loose ends, loose cannons, but I believe it's possible. I believe it is. I believe we can find a neutral location somewhere that's that everybody can get to that in the middle of the country somewhere, because then that makes everybody has to have the same amount of distance. Now, the people that's in the middle of the country may be beneficiary, but I think we need to have that because we had to bring light to it. We have to, the internet. The internet is fine, but it's like they can shield us behind the shield with the internet, and you don't have to. They don't have to know who you are, or they may, and especially the way things are going now. They say, well, maybe that's a bot, or maybe that's a artificial intelligence, or maybe them not real people. And so when the real people come out, then it's not just a trend. It's not just a hobby. It's just not a confused people.
Well, I mean, I don't see a reason why, as long as we don't have it set far enough out, that we can't start planning that out now. I mean,
Like that's what I'm saying. It has to be a planned thing because we want as many as people as possible. We don't want to say, well, if you can make it, we want to try to make as many people that can make it as possible. Because you get that awareness. Because they will have to say something. They ain't gonna be able to ignore 1,000 people. They're not gonna be able to ignore that many people sticking in the one. And then you're gonna have people being nosy, and that's exactly what we want. We want people to be nosy. And so in that group, we need to have maybe the ones that can really explain the Mandela effect to those that's asking questions, to answer them questions while the other people are still beating the street. That way now they can open it up and they say, wait a minute, yeah, let us join. And then next thing you know, you got 4,000 or 5,000 people join this call that they didn't even know was that serious. Because see, the reason why it's not impacting because it's not that serious. It's not. Only thing becomes people react to things when you protest because now they say they really mean business because they out there not just talking the game but being the game and being in the fray. And so if we be in the fray, now people draw to them. Maybe this is serious than I thought it was. Maybe we need to really take a look at this. And now people have to talk that don't want to talk. Or maybe they're going to have to say, well, then they might make an excuse about Nibiru may be messing with our fibers of time. They'll make some kind of excuse, but at least the information will be amplified. Right now, we're like a loud man crying in a corner in a secluded corner. Because right now that's what we at. The internet is our corner, and the internet they already have the internet line, and so people click and then they unclick. But when you put feet on the ground, it amplifies and make people feel a certain way. Because that's the only way. That's the only way we really will be affected. Because the Bible says, "Go to the highways and the byways." We have to go and beat the street. If we only do it just once, if we just do it once and we do it effectively and collectively with order, Mandela Effect T-shirts, some signs, a sign don't cost nothing. A sign don't cost nothing but $7. And we got people in the communities that sell T-shirts, so they already got to hook up on T-shirts.
Well, here's the thing, is that for this to happen, you need a group of people that are organized. I ain't an organizer. I can tell you that right now. I won't be the organizer. But there are people in our community that would be great at organizing it. Finding where we get the shirts, how much they are, putting together a list of like sizes and cost and locations and things
I got
like
a
that.
printer. I got a screen printer right here in right here in House Springs, Missouri.
And in the middle of the country?
Yep. Just south of St. Louis. Megs B, she lives in St. Louis. She got brought up in the chat earlier, but I do believe.
Yeah, I commented because they just went to Vanessa Mandela Effect Conference. I wasn't invited. I didn't even know it was a Vanessa Mandela Effect Conference.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
you're not.
think
I didn't either.
I don't think it was an invitation needed. It was just if you knew about it, you could, sign up and go.
But I didn't know about it. I think they probably did, but they didn't tell me no exact dates. They didn't tell me where or they didn't give me no kind of information. I think I heard of it, but I was always told if you ain't been invited, don't be an unwelcome guest.
And
Oh,
it's
really?
time
Because
to-
because you
That
could
don't make
have
sense.
gone because no, I think because what happened, they didn't want unaffected people. They wanted to know that you were a legitimate Mandela effect person, and obviously everybody knows you are, so that wouldn't have been a problem. But it was you just had to be like, because she put out like a couple informational videos on her channel, and so if you weren't familiar with her, you might not have gotten the info.
She was on my channel when we first started out. When I first started out, she was one of my first guests. About a year and a half ago when I started doing hangouts. But I think that I like that sentiment where you can hang out with people that you know. But I think this thing shouldn't be a conference for us. It should be an information, beat the street kind of. Put your walking shoes on and let's hit some of the streets in whatever city we in. So whoever organized, we're gonna need somebody that's native to that city, so they can get the proper permit. Because you want to do things decent order. I know some people don't; they just get in pickets and start to go do what they want to do. But I want to be able to have a permit to wherever we going, so that we can get the proper safety nets.
Hey, real quick,
we've got a lot of new people in here.
I was gonna say, you want to do another shout out? We got some more people.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do another shout out. We got a lot of new people in here. If you want to get the shout out, say something in the chat so that you pop up on the little screen here. But I'm going to go with what I've got right now. We've got Armored Up, love you, bro. Cowboy sporting the crown. We got Busy in the house. We got Jenny Bertie. We've got Salted Cedar. We love you, bro. We got Scrappy Yap Yap, Stonebender, and Taekwondo. The Taekwondo. Excuse me, brother. I did not mean to butcher your name like that. I apologize. There are others, but I don't know where they went. They're not on my participants list. I have no idea where they went.
We got Armor Up, Stonebender, Peanut.
We got Mr. Peanut, Preliminal. Now everybody's going to talk.
Wake Up News.
I knew he was gonna be here. It's like he got everybody tagged. I had a problem with I looked at all my subscribers, the few channels I'm subscribed to, and I ain't got nobody on my channel I'm subscribed to, Ollie. You know, I got to subscribe to some people now, because I don't know.
Everybody went.
Did you
Everybody went into lurker mode, and we got to do a shout out to all the lurkers. You want to sit there and hide out and hang out in the background and just listen to us idiots sit here and talk about only goodness knows what we're going to talk about.
Wait, hold on.
That's up to you, but you can sit there and you can say something. Well, we'd like to know who's watching.
Jason, wait. You can't call all the lurkers idiots, because some of them might just don't like to type.
I know they don't. I know they don't like to type. There's a lot of people watching us right now on there.
The same category, man.
Hey, Charkay's still here. They're sitting. They're watching on their smartphone.
Yeah, some people may be jogging, exercising. Some people may be working. You know, and may just listen to us like a radio station. I don't want to call everybody idiots, you know. And the ones that's here,
I called us idiots, not them. Us.
Hey, I ain't no idiot. Right. I ain't no idiot. Let's play with you. Well, I'll be an idiot for God if you want me to be that.
Fools for Christ.
I'm an idiot for Christ.
You got to be. The Bible says to be fools for Christ. So
I ain't got no sense when it comes to the Lord.
Again, just say it this way, Jason. And we got lurker in the house with a wrench, because you know everybody got a wrench.
Yeah. The good old lurker, they're floating around in the submarine. They got the sonar on, but we just don't see them because we don't know they're there. They're getting ready to sink our battleship.
how many does it say are watching?
Oh, now you done gave them an idea there.
Yeah, I know I did.
Yeah, Jason,
I know I did.
You say watching, I can't see.
Man, I was like, man, I don't know.
So
I was telling him.
Well, I got the screen up. You guys see this picture right here with this is underneath the giant rock. There's a room, a couple of rooms underneath the giant rock. This is where he would to meditate and connect to the fallen angels.
Wait on Earth.
Can you zoom it just a little bit?
Oh,
I got some bad eyes.
I can't zoom it. It's on my full screen as it is.
Oh,
I can't click on the picture.
If you go to the dots on the right hand side, you can zoom that page, like up to 150%.
Is that better, E-Man?
okay, yeah.
So this is.
They got all of them.
Yeah, this is underneath the giant rock where he led to UFO contacts and his encounter with the fallen angels to give them the information he needed to build this.
Does it say fallen angels, or does it say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I read that wrong? Extraterrestrial. Sorry. Sometimes I read.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you on that point, but I was wondering if it actually said that.
So yeah, this is building again back early days. So
yeah,
he would actually, up here, he was holding his conventions. He would actually have his conventions at the Giant Rock, 25 years, and I guess there's people there that he would bring there, and they would also interact with the
Wash that sink out for me, okay?
I mean, this is just crazy stuff right here. This is sick. But I mean,
Yeah, I want to read the history of that giant rock. And then it also
I never
said,
heard this.
you know who else donated money to it? Howard Hughes. I read that somewhere. I think that
why am I not?
I think that was just on the Wikipedia page.
yeah. So
Why am I not surprised?
according to the Indians, this is an Indian holy ground where North and South tribes met annually. So the big rock was originally, back in the native times, native Indians, their holy ground. So this has been like a what I'd call a portal from the beginning.
Yeah.
They call this one sign of the scorpion. So yeah, I mean, you guys can all check this out. But I'm just kind of wanted to go through that because, like I said, some typical guy could build this in the '60s. And just think about what they're doing now. I mean, this is just goes to show you how people are opening portals and dealing with things that they don't even know they're dealing with, and they shouldn't be creating false paths for people that lead them away from the truth and into deception.
Well, I don't know why, well, I do know why. I mean, they want fame, fortune, and sometimes just power, even spiritual power over the people. But I mean, I don't understand why they go through with all those things, because in the end, it's, what does it profit you to gain the whole world if you lose your soul,
Well, see, that's the problem. What happens is, we are saved by faith. The evidence thing, both of us. We haven't seen.
Now, what am I looking at here?
People don't.
You gotta do it.
People don't want to be saved by faith. They don't want to. They don't want to believe in something that they never seen before or have no evidence of. Majority of people that's into that game, they want tangible stuff that they know of, that they can feel and see, and that can give them action right now. People that say, "Why worry about when I'm dead? I don't even know how it's gonna be when I'm dead. So why would I worry about that? I want to get what I can get right now, because the Bible says that we are saved by faith, because we ain't never seen it, and we just hoping and praying that what the Bible says is true, and so we don't want to even deal with that. We want to deal with what we know we can tangibly feel and see and get some reaction out of.
Yeah.
I just looked up this Soganda. Apparently, the name of the fallen angel, UFO extraterrestrial, whatever, it told him his name was Soganda. That he was going to show him the craft. So that picture right there is the big rock to the left, Jason.
I almost see a face in it, but it's probably, if I look at it on like a face that's like leaning over or something.
I do too. I see a face.
I see faces and demons and everything now, though.
You have an eye, the nose, the outer of the face.
I'm looking at the rock itself, and I see a face on the rock.
Me too.
It kind of
where your mouse is.
It kind of looks like this thing up here in this mist.
But see those that was I think Jason's seeing the same thing I'm seeing, but I'd have to look at the full screen to But just from looking at it from this
The-
small screen, but I see faces and that stuff and everything now. It seems like.
Now, if you want to look at the picture on, the cloud formation on top, which I'm kind of confused about, because I'm trying to figure out how in the heck that happened. That don't happen in the desert. That happens out here. But I'm looking at a snake.
Now, I have one question for y'all. Watch this, and this gonna be weird. How many have you all ever heard of Elon Musk prior to 2013?
Never
Never.
heard of him.
Elon Musk just came out of the clear blue in like 2014, 2015, and it was on.
Yeah, this is evil. Look at what he did. This is pure evil. He held weekly meditation and channeling sessions. It's just it makes me sad that people. It just, I don't know. It hurts my heart to hear these things that they do this and not understand it or choose not to.
Well,
It's-
channeling is opening yourself up to demons for sure.
And the thing
Yeah.
is that the mainstream media is going to put this right out there for everybody to see, and then go visit this. On National Geographic, Bourdain. What does he have to? Why is he going? He goes to places to eat. What is he doing a show going to that place? And promoting it.
This is a spiritual, dynamic, demon possessed time we're in. So they had to make worshiping spirits the norm, worshiping deities and things out of this world the norm, because out of this world is being prepared to be exposed, or they're about to expose themselves. So they have to downplay and make it a nice thing to get visited and possessed and trust in your big brother. Lucifer.
It's another form of polytheism, which is a belief in multiple gods. And believe it or not, even though they say Christianity is monotheism, which is the belief in one God, get this, guys, I'm going to blow your minds. I'm going to piss everybody off right now. I'm going to blow your doors off. Christianity is not monotheism.
I'd rather be pissed off than pissed on.
Christianity is not monotheism. You've got the Holy Trinity. You've got the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. There's three gods right there. You've got the devil. That's four. You've got the Virgin Mother Mary that is worshipped as a god in the Catholic Church. That's five. Shall I keep counting? I probably could. The 12 apostles have all been elevated to sainthood. Every last one of them. And they are worshipped as gods in certain churches.
And what is the conclusion to your observation?
There's actually no such thing as a one God church. They're all multi-God churches.
Well,
all of them are.
Well,
but to sit there and worship Martians and aliens from other galaxies, I'm going to call that a stretch.
well, the word said thou shalt not have any other God before me. He didn't say there was no other gods. He just said don't have none before him. He's the one true only God. He's the only true God. Now, a lot of people have other gods that they worship, like the sun god and the Elohims and Nephilims and all of them. And they worship, some people worship their cars, their trees. So anything that you love more than anything else can become a god to you. But God said, don't nothing come before him. He didn't say it wasn't no, matter of fact, the Bible says we We are like little gods. We are, and if you look at it, we are like little gods because if I was made in the image and the likeness of Him, I'm His offspring. So if He's God, I'm God Junior. And so, but He's the Father. We the kids. You know.
You know, I went to AA for a little bit. This is years back. They said you had to believe in a higher power. Didn't matter what that higher power was, because AA cannot endorse or enforce any religion on anybody, and they actually told me that my higher power could be a doorknob.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're seeking now.
Did you just tell me God's a doorknob? And the guy looks at me and goes, "Yeah, God could be a doorknob."
Yeah, that's the New Ages. That whatever you want to be your God is your God. And God is not one thing. God is, as a matter of fact, what they say is God is actually who you are. And so you elevating who you want to be. And I heard somebody say this. Why would you serve just one God that want to be stingy and make you just serve Him?
So every time I go to the bathroom, I gotta pray to the doorknob so I don't get struck down by lightning for touching it. I'm going, no, this is just ridiculous.
Well, here's actually a rare interview from the guy.
Oh,
You want to see what this has to say? Because again, everything that we've seen and read on this is all about the rejuvenation. Yet we do know that it was initially intended for a time travel machine. That he never got to finish, or did he? I don't know. Let's see what he has to say. Hopefully, this isn't too long. Well, 19 minutes. But okay, so we'll just a little bit of this. You guys can always go back and let me know if everybody can hear it in the chat room. I'm not hearing anything.
Bad. So it's safe to talk about flying saucers, people from outer space, people who may be circulating among us now and who demonstrate their unearthly qualities if they choose you as one of their agents by disappearing and reappearing at will in your very presence, in front, if necessary, of many witnesses, and who land on this materialistic earth in flying saucers, to which you, if you're one of the chosen, shall enter through a net.
Yeah, that's not him. This is him.
Jack, this was the result of a formula which was given to me by a man who landed a ship at my airport in 1953. And we put this formula under research, tested a number of experiments on a bench in a good electronics lab in Chicago, and we produced phenomenal results with evidence that we should do it on a larger scale in order to be able to do more with it. And this evolved out of something that started in 1953 into a 4-story high machine that we're working on down there today. Now, George, I don't care whether the machine is 4 stories high or 40 stories high or 4 inches high. When I say calmly and unexcitedly, a time machine, what does your formula tell you can do with a time machine? Well, Jack, our formula has no time factor, which electronic formula does have. And on the other hand, electronic science has only had 2 dimensions to work with, the electric pattern and the magnetic pattern perpendicular to it. And we discovered a 3rd zone, which we call a time zone, and we are working through this zone with an effort to orient the magnetic field to give us other results than our science can obtain at present. George, it's double talk to me. A time machine means to me a little box that I can go into and go back 5,000 years or forward 10,000 years.
Is that what your formula tells you you can do?
Well, Jack, this isn't a little box. This is a 4-story machine focusing fields that we can orient to produce this zone big enough for a man to get into. It isn't a box.
But what happens to the man when he gets into the zone? I'm all agog with curiosity.
Jack, we've discovered this zone is subject to thought. Now, since time doesn't record it.
So I'm wondering if the zone isn't the very center part of that I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Events the way we do on calendars and clocks, you could only record an event by thinking of it. Now, theoretically, we believe we can take a videotape magnetic camera into the time zone and photograph Lincoln's Gettysburg Address or Caesar's armies marching or anything that's ever happened.
All right, let me get this straight. In other words, you're telling me, like H.G. Wells imagined 50 years ago, that everything that happened in time is still there to be seen by the recreation electronically of a thought which exists.
Jack, you know how you talk into a tape on a tape recorder and play the interruptions back, identical to the play that you made. The Earth's magnetic field is the same way. You can put interruptions into it and play them back out of it. An associate of ours in creating a magnetic coupler with this principle, coupled in the Earth's magnetic field and played back TV shows from stations that aren't even in business anymore.
You mean an experiment has been done to bring out of the air television programs which have been and gone?
Been and gone.
Now, where was this experiment conducted?
It was conducted in Santa Monica by an associate of mine.
Why hasn't this hit the headlines throughout the world? That's a time machine in action. If I can...
Jack, the reason it hasn't hit the world is because, as I understand it now, the Navy Department took him and the research over because he also discovered he could bounce magnetic echoes off the ionosphere and locate submarines under the ocean, regardless of where they were.
So who is this associate of yours?
This is a fellow named Charlie Arts.
Charlie Arts?
Yeah.
And is he a free man walking around today?
Well, he's free where he is in this super secret research he's conducting.
Now, so therefore you tell me soberly in front of the television camera that things, old television programs have been recreated out of nothing.
Played back with a picture and the sound just as good as the day they were broadcast. We've done this many times.
Why didn't you bring one up with you?
Well, this requires quite a piece of apparatus. This magnetic coupler works on around 50,000 volts, and it doesn't have any radio frequency connected with it. And actually, the television set which plays back the picture doesn't even have an antenna connected to it.
George, you know as well as I do, and you've been on television 350 times, and I've known you. I've met you once 7 years ago, and I kind of like you. And you know what the people out there are saying. They're saying this man's a nut.
Well, Jack, you know, when Fulton was running his steamboat up the Hudson River, there were people still standing on the bank saying it couldn't be done.
All right, let me take you back then. You have a time machine plan. You have done experiments which show you can bring the past to life. Where did this formula come from?
I love that Scotch accent. Jack, the formula came from a ship that landed at my airport in 1953 on August the 24th, which had 4 people aboard it that came from another planet.
I'm breathless.
Well, you're not only breathless, I was breathless.
But I'm cynical, too.
Well, that's fine. That's the way to be. In fact, I'm a bigger skeptic than you are of many things.
I'm an unbeliever. Convince me that this really happened to you.
Well, this thing is very similar to a thing that's happened in our biblical records where a Lord presented Moses with a pattern to build a tabernacle. They came out of the sky, they handed him stone tablets, and this phenomena that's taking place today is as old as our history, as our civilization. This isn't anything new that's occurring. It's something that's being continued in a...
Do you see how how the deception uses truth within their lies for their deception? So bringing up Moses, right? How many people might get led astray? Oh, this is biblical. Well, this is, he's a believer of God. And next thing you know, they're diving into this, going there. experimenting with it.
Another time of crisis when conditions affecting the people of this planet are reaching a point where somebody has to take care of the situation.
Now, I don't intend in any way to be disrespectful or blasphemous, but do you feel, and I know you're not an evangelistic type, do you feel that you're some kind of Moses receiving a new word?
Well, I don't say that, Jack. I say that what is occurring now has occurred before. There's many records of these ships landing throughout history, clear back into Sanskrit. And there are records in the 1898 Chicago newspapers that covered the front page for 3 days of a big ship setting over Chicago. When you realize we're dealing with a type of man that is almost as far above us in intelligence as we are above the lower animals, there isn't anything phenomenal in this at all.
Now, you say casually, because this is your life's work now, ships. Now, you mean flying saucer, don't you?
Well, a flying saucer was a name the press put on this thing. And actually what they termed a flying saucer was nothing but a scout ship from the big carriers.
But I want to go back to that night in 1953. Tell me, where did this happen for people who haven't had your talk or seen you yet?
It happened on my airport, which I've operated for the last 16 years, Giant Rock Airport, 7.
Yes, Stone, I think so too. And if you were here when I was showing the pictures earlier, of course, out in front of it, they've got their Freemasonic symbol right out in front of it, right there. Do you guys want me to keep playing that, or you guys want to just watch it later? It's up to you guys. Let me know.
Put it down in the description below, and anybody that wants to watch can go watch it, and we'll save you from a copyright strike.
Oh, I'm already done. It doesn't matter. I don't get monetized.
I don't think that could be a copyright strike from an interview so long ago.
But yeah, you can
I got a copyright strike for singing Amazing Grace on my stream 3 months ago, and I'm going, what?
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much time left. Anybody in the chat, if you guys want to watch the rest of it, if not, you guys can go back and watch it later. I think we kind of got the gist of where he's going with this interview.
Sounds like they did do some time travel to me.
Yeah, right? Yeah. If you look back at when I was at the history part, it said right after he died, all of the information on building it and notes that he took of what happened, everything was taken by the FBI. Really? The FBI went in and took this information and has it now shut as classified. So, you know, this isn't just like some Looney Tune out in the middle of the desert making a dome. Right? I mean, put the pieces of the puzzle together.
I think that machine that they took, I think that's what CERN is, because they didn't know how to work it, and now they finally broke through and figured out it worked, and now they're using it. Maybe
I don't know if they're using it today. I mean, if they are, they're certainly the two sisters that own it are saying that they haven't figured out how to make it spin. But
I did hear him talking about the TVs with no antennas.
You all right?
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to keep listening? Maybe we'll get a little more information. People seem to like it and thought it was interesting. Not much left.
Go ahead.
Valley, or 40 miles north of Palm Springs.
Now, this is a private airport for small aircraft, is it?
This is an airport used both by the military and private aircraft.
You own this airport?
I leased this airport from the United States government.
Well, there you go.
I've operated it for 16 years since I retired. flight test business in the aviation.
By the way, Joe.
I'm 54, Jack. Got 3 daughters married and 11 grandchildren.
You don't mind if I ask you the stop question? I know that you've been asked every obnoxious question that can ever have been asked. You've never been treated for any form of emotional upset.
I've never had an emotional upset other than women.
Except that night in Yucca. When this
normal guy
ship appeared. Now, give me the details, John, because I'm never tired of hearing the details of a man who says he has seen creatures from another world.
Well, actually, Jack, this was as simple as crossing a street and getting hit by a car. After it's over, you're the victim of the circumstance. And I didn't see the ship land.
I wonder if this guy's going to get to asking him what it looks like, because if he doesn't ask what it looks like, I'm going to raise a red flag on him now. Why wouldn't you want to know what it looks like? Right?
Yeah, he's got to ask. He's got to ask.
Hang on. The wrong button.
My son-in-laws, there wasn't my son-in-law at that time, saw it come down. Another man on the airport heard it, and he wasn't where he could see it. And the man got off of the ship and approached me before I even knew there was a ship down.
Where were you then? What time of day or night was it?
2 o'clock in the morning and approximately a full moon, which is like daylight on the desert.
Were you walking about outside or what?
No, I was sound asleep when he awakened me.
This man awakened?
Well, something awakened me.
So you got up out of your bed?
I got out of my bed and went aboard the ship at his request.
This man, in what language did he converse with you?
He talked to me in the best English equivalent to Ronald Coleman.
And he met you there and he said, what did he say? Come with me to my ship or what?
No, he said, I asked him what he wanted because we have a lot of people who come in stuck in the sand and broken axles and whatnot. And I asked him what he wanted, and he said, my name is Solganda, and I would be pleased to show you our craft.
Solganda?
Solganda.
Was the craft visible to you at this time?
It was when he stated this. I saw beyond him the ship, which I hadn't seen before.
What did you see?
A bell-shaped type of anti-gravity ship that they operate as a scout ship out of the big carriers.
How big?
This was 36 feet in diameter and 19 feet high.
And where was it? On the ground?
No, it was hovering 10 feet off the ground.
And how did you go into this ship?
I walked with him to a spot underneath it, and an anti-gravity beam took me up through a hole in the bottom.
You're telling me at 2 o'clock in the morning in Giant Rock Airport, you walked underneath this hovering ship and whammo, you went up inside.
You didn't go whammo, you went just about as slow as a local elevator.
And when you got off the anti-gravity elevator, what did it look like?
I was inside of a ship about 18 feet in diameter and roughly 10 feet high to the dome ceiling. And there were 3 men on the ship, besides the one that had got off and invited me aboard.
You keep calling them man. What do you mean, man?
Well,
little green man?
They were about 5'6". They came about to my eyebrows, and they could have walked in our clothes down any of our streets, and we wouldn't have paid any attention to them.
And did you bring any proof off that ship? Were you alone in the ship?
I was alone with the 3 men until the other fellow came up behind me, and then the 4 of them were aboard.
Were there any other earthly eyewitnesses to this?
Nothing on the outside of the ship.
So notice he called the Jack, right? Jack called them creatures, and George is calling them men.
These people stayed outside?
On the airport.
And did you go anywhere in this ship?
Not to my knowledge. When I got off, it was the same place it was when I got on.
What do you mean, not your knowledge? Had the door closed when you went in or something?
I don't know, because it was below the deck.
And did these people tell you where they came from?
They didn't say where they came from, but I've been in the air game since 1927, and their instruments were unlike anything I'd ever seen before.
Well, don't give me technicalities. What was different?
The difference was that we used dial instruments, and they used vertical instruments, like fluorescent tubes with marks on them.
What color were these people?
The instruments were marked in symbols similar to hieroglyphics. They were not in any language or number system we use on the Earth.
What color were these people?
They looked like they were white people with a good, healthy tan.
Did they give you any indication of how old they were, or what they ate, or where they came from at all?
After we got off the ship, the man who invited me aboard, who didn't look a day over 28 years of age, told me that he was over 700 years of age in our time.
Oh, come off it, Joe.
That's right.
Was this the guy who gave you the formula for the time machine?
That's the man.
And what form did the formula take? Did he implant it in your mind by telepathy, or did he give you something written in English?
He spoke it to me verbally.
And you remembered this?
Nothing to it to remember.
Will you tell me now? The formula for a time machine.
F equals 1 over T.
F equals 1 over T.
F being frequency and T being time.
And this enables me to go back to the time of Caesar's armies conquering Britain.
Well, it would enable a mathematician to work this out, yes.
Why hasn't this been acclaimed like Einstein's E equals MC squared?
Well, why hasn't the fact that the United States government's been flying anti-gravity ships since 1956 been acclaimed? Or the fact that there's a crater on the moon with a base in it since 1954, we've known this.
All right, but let's get first of all the U.S. Why haven't the FBI clapped you incommunicado for breaking secrets that they want to keep secret in the United States?
Well, possibly because they know this information is going to get out eventually anyway, and what I say won't make any difference.
Now, that particular night when you had this experience, did you call the police? Did you call the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the White House?
Well, I'm 17 miles from the nearest phone, Jack, and the nearest phone would get me to the sheriff's office, and it'd take them about 40 minutes to get out there.
Or wouldn't you have a phone on an airport?
No, we have no phone.
But you're an operating airport.
Well, we're an operating airport, but we're isolated in the middle of the desert. There's 17 miles from the closest town, and they've never run phones out there.
So how do you communicate with people who want to use your airport?
They fly in or write and phone to the local town where my daughter lives, and she notifies us when she comes out.
Now, you talked about a crater in the moon. Now, I thought all the moon stuff had been debunked and that nobody ever really knows what was on the moon. What's this?
Well, this is the Gassendi crater. This is 55 miles long.
Hey, there you go, Salted Cedar. We got this guy here saying we never went to the moon. How about that? This guy's interviewing him saying we never went to the moon. Well, of course, I don't know what year this interview was. Obviously, it had to have been after '69, but that's interesting.
And oval shaped. It's in the Mare Humorum Sea, or on the edge of it. Since 35 years ago, they wondered why this particular crater had these lines in it. And with the magnification which you can get with a larger telescope, this is what they found. These lines are tubes laying on the surface of this crater and running under some of the mountain ridges. There are 3 large fan-shaped structures in here. These tubes run clear outside of the crater, and we know there are tubes laying on the surface because...
Look at that face right there. You see that, Jason?
That looks like an electron microscope at like 2,000 power of what your skin cells look like.
Yeah, this is my opinion. Just listening to this interview and looking at his movements, his blinking of his eyes. He's definitely spewing lies. Now,
he's total bullshit.
Yeah, I think the lies that he's talking
is total BS. I've never heard of anything, even back in the 30s. In the 30s, all airports were required to have phones.
Yeah, this guy,
now we're in the 50s, and this guy's at an airport without a phone? Nope. Kiss my butt. Didn't happen.
He obviously knows that the aliens are not from another world. Whatever he's spewing now, whatever information he did gather, whatever he did see, he's not telling the truth on it, in my opinion. Watch his eyes and the blinking. When people lie, they blink a lot. I'm not saying this guy didn't get information like Tesla did or whatever, but I'm thinking at this point, he's a front man. And he knows...
Well, Tesla might be just aliens. Because, like I said, I don't know who the world. I ain't never heard of Elon Musk, and all of a sudden he got SpaceX, he got this, he got this item car. He building roads underneath the cities now, and he the one gonna help us in the face with the AI. So he might be an alien himself.
Well, here's the thing: is that whether they're quote unquote aliens, whatever, they're all front guys. Zuckerberg,
Yeah,
that kid didn't invent. He's a front man.
they're
Jordy,
all front men. They're all front men.
Gordy or Jordy, whatever you want to call him, with the D-Wave and his computer and the Kendrick computer. He's a front man. These people are all front men. They're CIA trained people, probably. I don't know, maybe, and they're front men. They're the because what's behind the scenes is what's really going on, and these guys are just front men. So this guy's running an airport for the government, and the FBI took all his stuff. This guy's nothing more than a front man.
Because the sun is shining from this angle, and this mountain peak causes this shadow.
Hey, it's another face. Pause it. Go back. It's another face.
Face up.
It's another face. Go back.
Hey,
Go back
Rain,
like about 15 seconds. Where's Rain?
Rain and her phone kind of dies.
Yeah, Rain's phone had a hiccup.
Where are we at? So we're at.
Oh, I gotta drop down in the chat. Go forward just a bit. All right, dang it. There it is. Stop. Right there.
It stopped.
Now, down in the lower right of that picture, there's a face.
Yeah.
Really knows.
Oh, this big one right here.
Yep.
Oh, that's look at that. That's kind of deformed too with the cone head.
What's that?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, if you look right over here in the center, there's another one.
Yeah, I
There's
pointed
another
out.
face with one right behind it. And there's another one right behind it, kind of Joker-esque looking at it. Look to it. And good grief, man. We got the whole montage going here.
Yeah.
this is the ascending crater. This is 55 miles long. Structures in here. These tubes run clear outside of the crater. And we know there are tubes laying on the surface because the sun is shining from this angle. And this mountain peak causes this shadow.
What does it all mean? Does it mean that this is a rocket launching or a flying saucer base on the moon?
This has been a base on the moon for perhaps many thousands of years, used by these people in the spaceships to resupply their ships or whatever is required.
Not even Life magazine has accepted this is genuine, or has it?
Well, the Palomar Observatory people that took the picture won't even comment on it. So
There must be a great conspiracy of silence to keep George Van Tassel's secret of the universe away from the people.
no, it isn't to keep anything I know away from the people. It's to keep many things away from the people.
Let's talk about this picture.
This
This is the time machine.
This is a picture of the machine we're building down there. This structure is actually up. We're working now on the parts on the equipment that operate it. This rim around here has armatures 57 feet in diameter, which would be better than 4 times bigger than the biggest armatures ever made before.
But is that the place where you did the experiments? By the way, how old were these television programs you pulled back out of time and space?
Well, the oldest one was 6 years back because the television was 6 years old when this was done.
And what program was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember what program, but I know that I'm checking up on some of the stations that Art found that the station no longer existed. It was out of business.
Let's get down to some more basics now, Red. Are you making
You see how it's controlled? Like, okay, you don't remember what TV program? Come on. Really? Come on. Seriously. Control. This is a controlled interview. For sure. Front guy.
a lucrative living out of traveling around the world evangelizing for flying, around the continent, evangelizing for flying saucers?
No, Jack, I'm on a vacation to rest my wife because she's been.
All right, well, there you go. That you could tell, we've been around long enough here in this wake up community to realize when we see a front guy in a controlled interview, this guy remembers waking up and the whole thing about the being abducted. He remembered all the information they gave him to build this thing, but he don't remember what TV program it was. Never mind, TV just started 6 years ago. I mean, crazy. No, Stone, I have not heard of the Yaran Chia book, the Alien Bible. That is crazy. In the 50s. See, the thing is with this whole alien thing, remember 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s even, talking about aliens being abducted by aliens. I mean, you were, tinfoil wearing hat dude. And now it's like all these interviews are coming out from the 60s and like legit interviews and everything it's okay to talk about it like today. I'm sure, did the Pope back then in the 60s say he was going to baptize him too? I don't know. I mean, crazy.
There's so much stuff that don't make sense to me, and that interview just got me scratching my head.
Yeah, but you can see that a lot of that information he was giving out is similar to that information that when you watch the Philadelphia Project and the I'm going to do a thing on that when the guys talked about one of them was actually the part of the inventor, and the other two were part of the experiment itself. And a lot of this language and what he's saying comes right out of that. And that Philadelphia Project, that was back then around that time. Also, I don't know the exact timeline, but it's close.
I'm back, guys.
Okay, yay, Raid's back. Woo woo.
Yeah, I knew it was getting low, but I didn't know it was that low. And all of a sudden it just said power off. I'm like,
Oops.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, my phone's got its own quirks too. I've got to actually plug my phone in and put it in the window with the hotspot on so I can use my internet. And 7 feet away from that window, it won't work. But yeah, I got to get new battery for this phone, and my phone's only this phone's only a month and a half old, and the battery's already fried. Yeah. AT&T is going to give me a new battery.
You guys, the cheapest, I've had this cheap $40 Verizon prepaid phone, and it works great. I don't understand why people spend a ton of money on phones. I just don't. But I mean, it does everything that everybody else. It doesn't have a huge screen, but it's not like tiny either,
Well, look what I did. I bought a tablet for $40, and this market is rugged, it's nice, and it get the job done. I ain't paying no $300 no tablet.
I know. I mean, people just think they have to have what everybody else is having, and it's just ridiculous. You can get so much nowadays for very relatively cheap. I mean, still I don't have $40 right now, but I'm just saying, when I bought this, I mean, I don't need a $300 phone like most people. $40 phone's fine for me.
I got a ZTE Maven 3. And in fact, I still got my the one I replaced, which is the Maven 2. I still got that phone.
Well, I'm a technology person, so I get upgrades. I got my LG ThinQ with AI in it. Literally. I point my phone to anything and act like it's trying to figure out what it is.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
He had to get something smarter than his kids.
Right. And every phone you get from this point on, from this year on, will have some form of AI in it. So you ain't gonna be able to get out of it. If you use Google, you use AI. If you, you know, so like I say, technology is what they using the technology for. We still have to live and survive in this world. So
Hey, you have a good
uh,
night, Clark. Or
unless
Sean, Kenny.
unless you're gonna rough it and start building your own house and get you started picking your own beans and
No,
get your cow.
I'm working on my own version of Oreo for my phones. I'm going to take everything AT&T put on there and get rid of it. Then I'm going to get rid of half the Google apps because I don't want them. I don't use them. And then I'm going to put them on my old phone and I'm going to see if it's still stable and works on the network. If it works, I'm going to do the same thing to my new one.
Oh, see, that's what
That's
happened.
looking at this thing. That dome glows red under the California night sun. The dome glows red.
Yeah, I saw that in one of them pictures, and I'm going, now, wait a minute, that ain't right.
That's symbolism right there. Unless they're they're not showing any lights on it or anything. It just does it.
Hang on a second.
I wonder what the material is that would make it turn red like that.
I'll show you the material too. They have it on here.
So, with the chat is asking any questions?
So you can see this. Let me know when the picture comes up.
Yeah, I see it. It might take a little bit for the chat.
They said it glows red under the California night sky in the Mojave Desert.
I love the Milky Way behind it.
And then I was reading this here. Made out of built from fiberglass, wood, and concrete, but not a single nail.
Fiberglass, wood, and concrete, and then what'd you say?
Not a single nail.
Oh yeah, yeah, because it can't have any iron in it.
And it rests on a geometric anomaly in the earth, as well as the confluence of 3 underground rivers.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting.
Right?
Where's all the New Agers? They would have a field day with that.
So look at this. The alien is from Venus, called Solgonda.
There's been a lot. Yeah, I've heard of stuff from Venus before. It doesn't surprise me that I mean, not. How do we know that these fallen angels / demons can't live on these planets?
Look at this picture here. What is this? Let me zoom in for you. Thing's jumpy.
Yeah, got jumpy, all right.
Look at that above it. Or
it's like an artist rendition of something. I don't know.
It looks like an alien right there in the middle of it.
That look like a poker table.
Yeah.
The site. What does it say underneath? Site where sonic frequency. Oh shoot! I can't.
Healing.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic frequency.
Hey, somebody's giving cowboy cookies.
What? I love cookies. As long as they're chocolate. I mean, I have to go to my settings there and make them chocolate.
Man, I miss. I can't find my favorite lemon cookies. I used to love lemon cookies. Not the.
This is.
We still got them here in Missouri, but they're getting rare.
So Patty plays the court crystals that we showed you, right? Singing bowls. And then has a gust of wind ruffles her scarf. Of course, you have to take your shoes off, right? Because you have to have your body ground to it. Obviously,
Yeah.
can't go over soles.
Not armored.
Take care, Armor. Love you, brother.
Love your armor.
No, it.
Oh, boy. Let me. Hey, y'all. I'm dozing off, and
All right.
cause I ain't had no sleep all doggone day, and so I know y'all do all nighters, so I'll probably see y'all later.
Yeah, there's
But I don't
more
want
to come. There's more to come.
no, I don't want to be snoring on y'all. Well, I'm sure, but I'm up here dozing off. That's why I'm so quiet. And when I get quiet, I don't like to be unengaged like that, cause I might miss some good stuff.
Hey, why not, man? I did a live stream on my channel, and we had 4 hours of live show and 4 hours of me snoring into my microphone.
Didn't Digi do that too? I think Digi did that too.
Yeah.
But so
we've all
I'm
done
glad,
it now.
I'm glad
We've all done it.
to be in your company again, Rain and Cowboy and Jason. Y'all keep on bringing this good old news. and I catch y'all probably later. And I see everybody in the room.
Get some sleepy, man. Get some sleepy, man.
Yeah, get yourself a nap.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
So this is Peanut wanted me to go back to this because I was going through it and he saw the Led Zeppelin on there. So it looks like Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant visited this place as well. Jarvis Cocker. Oh. So like I said, yeah, there's a lot out there, but there's been a lot of celebrities have gone to this place. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
How
and the whole
far
time I'm sitting, the whole time I'm going, where's the New Agers to help explain this stuff to us non-New Age people?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, Peanut.
I mean,
they do talk about doing things on full moon there too. So it's like
it gets better.
That the space people came during the full moon. Space people. That interview cracked me up though because it was like, well, I wish they would interview people like that now. Like, what are you talking about? And then like make them explain it and not just like let them do a one-liner and move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that because obviously I didn't hear the end part, and then but yeah, it sounded like a really good interview, and maybe it said that he'd been on TV a lot, so there might be some more interviews out there.
Yeah, well, definitely some more digging into that.
Now, regarding the moon, this is a little off topic, but some of these channels are saying that the Earth is tilting, and that's why you see like Cheshire moons, and then also the moon, like the ring on top. Because it should only be to the sides; it shouldn't be on the bottom or the top, unless we're tilting real bad. So I don't know. That's off topic, but I just wanted to bring that up.
The Earth is tilted at 13.5 degrees off center.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about tilted even more. I'm talking about that it's been tilting even more. Because otherwise you would, because I've seen a Cheshire moon and you shouldn't be able to see that like that. If it's only 13.5 degrees, it has to be tilted more to be able to see it that way. So just, or less perhaps, depending on.
Completely moved in 3 different spots over the last 3 nights.
Yeah, see, stuff like that. I mean, it's probably an artificial light. source anyway. But some people think it's like a, kind of like a Death Star type of thing.
We're just waiting for it to rotate around and blow the Earth to pieces, right? I mean, the Chinese found a space. If they got a space station on the other side of the moon, so it wouldn't surprise me none. So.
I found it was interesting, Cowboy.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Well, I was just, I found it interesting, Cowboy, as I was looking more into that, what was it called? Champus Vitus or Vitus? But anyway, they said that if you looked into the history of it, the Emperor of China, because Jason talked about, Chinese have the space station. If you looked into that Champus Vitus, the Emperor of China is the one that specifically, like, told his emissaries or whatever to come over here and talk about that order or whatever to this guy in Virginia, somebody B, and then also they claim to be like as old as like the creation of Adam, basically 4000 BC or whatever. It was interesting because they were somewhat affiliated with the Masons, but not really, and I don't know. But I found the history of it kind of fascinating, really.
We'll have to look into that more too. And then we got Stonebender was talking about a pyramid.
The Bosnian pyramids.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's another one here in Shasta Lake, and it's they're saying you enter it, and it's a healing process that begins in all four bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. That happens just by entering, without a person doing anything. And I know that my son had seen that before and was tripping over it, and so it costs like, I don't know, quite a bit of money to go in to this thing. And you can actually end up staying the night if you wanted to. But I think it's kind of weird. I mean, the one that Stone talked about, and this one here in Shasta, the pyramid, Shasta Lake, California, they're not very big at all. 15 feet tall, 24 by 24 foot base, 15 foot tall. But there's something more to these pyramids. I mean, imagine what kind of things the larger pyramids actually have. There's a lot of information out there.
I've never heard of the ones in Shasta. I've never heard of the pyramids in California. They're reclassifying. They're in the middle of reclassifying the mounds in Cahokia, all 39 of them, as pyramids.
Wow.
I've been inside the Great Pyramid at Giza.
Oh, you lucky girl. I couldn't get in.
That was the summer of 1990, right before Iraq invaded Kuwait. I went to the pyramids. I went down to Luxor and Aswan, the Valley of the Kings, Valley of the Queens. I climbed what they thought was Mount Sinai and did a bunch of fun things. I stayed there for about 3 months.
See, I was going to get tickets to go to Egypt to go into the pyramids, but I didn't get the tickets to go to Egypt because they wouldn't let me in the damn pyramid. I said, well, that defeats the whole purpose.
What year was it?
93.
I didn't catch that.
93.
Yeah. Well, see, that was during the, all that, see, I was in Cairo when Iraq invaded Kuwait. And so, but, I did all that beforehand, you know what I mean? So, but, my parents were freaking out and everything. I was 22 at the time.
Did you feel anything?
No, that's what I was getting ready to say. I didn't feel any different afterwards. And I climbed through the steps and went down into the chambers that they let you go into and all that. I didn't feel any different, really, that I can recall,
Well, I wonder if it'd be different now that you're more in tune to like things, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I don't know.
Pre-awaken, post-awaken, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I had just been a born again Christian for only 2 years at that time. But that was just so early in a lot of stuff. I mean, people didn't really, there was no internet, obviously. Well, there was, but you know what I mean. And
Oh, I was online. I was online back then. I was doing
I didn't
the
get really
BBS.
online. Well, when I was in college, I would get on to stuff, but it was different than it is now. Like I really didn't get on till like early '95 because I know exactly when it was because my youngest son had just been born and he was born December of '94. And so, like, I just know that it was like just a month or two after is when I first went on America Online. But I mean, I'd been on the internet, at college, but that's like a different type of thing. You know what I mean? Than what
Yeah.
America Online was or whatever. But
Back before America Online, it was all BBS. I mean, you wanted to play a game, it was like Dungeons and
yeah,
Dragons in a text-only environment. And
yeah. My cousin Robert, he was
there
on the
were no
internet
there were no
early.
there were no pictures. Then America
Yeah,
Online comes along, and then CompuServe had to show up and compete. And they were trying to come up with they put pictures on there, and I was blown away. And I'm going, wow. Not only do I have to pay for internet, now I've got to pay AOL as well. No, let's see if I got to find a way around this one. I did. And I was on a freaking piece of junk. It was a 286 computer with a black and white screen. My other
yeah.
computer was a Commodore 64C with a color monitor, which was my TV.
Yeah.
Oh, that worked out great.
Well, I mean, I took programming and even in high school, I learned basic. So, I mean, I had computer, knowledge, like that was in 84, 85, 86, time frame. But,
oh, then you know what a
it
Pokemon
was. Yeah.
Get your mind out of the gutter, guys.
But,
Take care, Peanut. See you in a bit. So we'll see you around, brother.
yeah, I wish I could see the chat, but I might be able to go back over there again, but it's really.
I'll just put it up for you.
Oh, well, I don't know. I won't be able to
Mr.
see it on
Peanut.
this small of a screen. It won't matter. Yeah,
No,
probably.
she's on her phone. Therefore,
Well,
she's got like a micro screen, and where Mike W says later skater, all she's going to see is a little white dot with a little blue.
I mean, you can try it, and I'll tell you if I can see it at all, but I bet I can't really.
I don't know. They're all talking. All the guys are talking about how they want to go dance with you in the rain. I don't know what that's all about.
I do.
Oh, goodness.
I know what that's about. But I'm 40.
Well, Jason, of course you do. You know everything, dude. You're never amazing. Never cease to.
And considering me and Debbie went out and we danced in the rain. More than once.
I've kissed in the rain before. That's pretty fun.
We've all done things in the rain. There. Leave it at that.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah, I
because
can't.
If we go too much further and get into too much more detail, we're going to have to put the parental advisory sticker on this thing.
I have to relabel this. There you go. Can you see it? I even blew it up.
Well, I can see it, but I can't see the words. I can't. No, it doesn't do any good.
No,
my eyes aren't very good. And plus, even if I did have my glasses, I don't think I could read it.
No, I'll just
even with a 6-inch screen, you cannot read the chat. And my phone's got a 5-inch screen. It's not possible. I can turn it sideways. No, still ain't gonna work. It's still just a blur. Put it in high definition. Nope, don't work. I did that on 3 different channels trying to figure out how I could read it. It's not possible. If you're watching on a cell phone, the chat's just not going to happen.
Well, see, normally, I'll have my laptop, and I can do both stuff, Normally that's what I do, but when I opened up my computer the other day, it still was on and it was still working and I could do stuff, but when I would plug it in, it just wouldn't take a charge. And so I'm hoping that it's just the adapter. So I'm going to get a new adapter and figure that out, because if it's the adapter, then good. But if it's not the adapter, then I don't know. There's something wrong with the laptop or, the Chromebook. But it was a cheap Chromebook. I don't think I paid more than $250 for it. And I've had it for at least 3 years, but still, it shouldn't be pooping out on me quite yet.
My laptop is, 11 years old.
Well, see, I've got an older one, but the screen broke. And so, like, I use it like I had, because I can't put OBS on my Chromebook. So I had OBS on my other one. But then the other day when I tried to use it, it wouldn't hook up to the internet because it's really old. Like, it's probably at least 8 years old. But, it was still working. It was still running on Windows 7 and it was still doing fine, other than the screen being broken. But
I want to get myself, I'm going to go to the pawn shop and buy myself a newer computer that's like, 3 years old, maybe 4.
if you want to get a Chromebook, but I don't like Chromebooks because you can't put stuff like OBS or, you can't do anything that Windows stuff. And, I like, I thought I didn't like my Chromebook. And then when it quit working, I'm like, oh gosh, now I can't, look at chats and do my other regular stuff. And it's hard. It's just hard. I hate doing stuff solely with my phone. I just hate it. But it's the way things are.
Well, yeah. We've been going over 2 hours. I know that you got something you want to do, Jason. So,
yep. It's going to take me about a half hour, 45 minutes to get set up, and then
hi, Miss Wheeler.
I'll be going live.
Okay, so we'll just take a little break. Everybody can get something to eat and do what they got to do, and then we're gonna regroup over on Jason's stream. He's got a topic he wants to go over tonight. So you're saying about 45 minutes, so it's 6 o'clock here Pacific time.
Let's shoot for 9 o'clock. I got 8 o'clock my time, so we're going to go 9 o'clock Central Standard Time.
All right, that'll be 7 o'clock Pacific time.
Yes.
Okay. That'd be 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 8 o'clock my time.
Oh, I hate all this.
I always just go by Eastern because I always say Eastern because, if you can't add 1, 2, or 3 hours to know what it is your time, I'm sorry, but that's pretty pathetic, So I always just say whatever it is Eastern. But
it depends on what time zone you're from because, I say, I'm going to be broadcasting at 8 Eastern, 9 or I've got to do the Central Time because that's what I go by. I'll be broadcasting at 9 o'clock Central, which is.
See, I would just say
10 p.m.
when I did my morning broadcast, I always, even though it was 5 Mountain Time for me, I always just put in my stream 7 Eastern.
Yeah, I'm still when they put on a TV show, and I still to this day I can't figure it out. They'll be like, okay, the show's coming on Monday, 10/9 Central. I'm like, well, what time is that for me? I don't know.
7. Because see, if it's 10 Eastern, you just add or subtract 3 hours.
But I don't because I'm watching the shows and then I start coming on at 10. So where I'm at, they're saying 10 for you, 9 Central. I'm like, well, they're doing it backwards. So they're putting an out later than what you were getting, and I don't know what the heck's going on.
Phyllis usually in the house wondering what she did.
What you did is you're late. That's what you did. Don't be late.
Yeah, it's been on for 2 hours.
She showed up actually late, just like Dan always does. He says he's going to be on at 8. He starts at 9. He says he's going to start at 11. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and he finally gets around to hitting the button because he forgot. I mean, come on.
I'm guilty of that.
I do the same crap too, though. So
Yeah, I'm guilty. I don't think I've ever started a stream on time. Yeah, sorry, but yeah, no, Phil's really. I don't know. I have not been more tired last 2 weeks. I have insomnia. I go to bed, I sleep for an hour, and I'm up. And then I try to go back to bed, and I sleep for an hour, and I get maybe 5 hours sleep broken up over like 8 hours. And just
I love what Phyllis Wheeler just said. Early for work, late for dates. I love that.
Right? That's
I'm the other way around. I'm the other way around. I'm early for dates, but I'm late for work.
So, Jason, what do you got to reboot your system again, or what? I mean, you sound pretty good.
Well, I don't have to reboot my system. What I've got to do is shut everything on the computer down, restart Chrome so I can reset the memory buffers on it, and then I've got to pull up my email and get ready for tonight because I'm doing internet scams and email scams tonight for my show.
Okay, so you're looking at it's going to take you an hour to reboot your system and you pull up your emails.
And
Okay, so
take care of something else, yeah.
okay, Jason, I have a
Other things
potential
to
topic.
do.
Jason, I have a potential topic for you. Just look at how people can get on Google Hangouts and what you can do to prevent it.
Yeah,
That's a potential thing.
Yeah, me being the target of 3 attacks. Yeah, and I'm working with Google on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how they get in?
I can tell you, Google will not tell you. The reason why is when I was looking it up, Google, all the people were complaining about a lot of the same things, and they're not getting any help. Google's not going to tell you that because they're not going to put the money in to prevent it and put that type of protection on it. So they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, that happens." They're going to just play you around in circles, and they're not going to give you like the information that you're looking for.
Yeah, Phyllis, somebody hit me again. I've had one stream just blown off the air at the 3-hour mark, and I got porn bombed where somebody with a beer gut came up and started making love to his camera.
Oh,
he was making love to his
phone.
Yeah, I know, but making love to his. He was making love to his phone. The thing is, his belly stuck so far over his dicky D, you couldn't see what he was doing.
Well, I know, but the mistake people make is put.
You can see his belly button move. That was about it. And then,
but you can't put the Google Hangout link in the chat, though. You know what I mean? That's when you get those problems. Is when you put the Google Hangout link into the chat.
Oh, that's just it. We didn't. And then, the last one was somebody got into my Google Hangouts and destroyed 9 Hangouts. They just blew them off out of the water. Just gone. Bye. See ya. 9 of them. I'm going, wait a minute. Where'd they go? And I know 3 of them were mine. 6 of them might have been took down by somebody else, but 3 of them I'd started. I have ownership. They're gone. I've got one that I can still look at, but it's shut down. It's gone.
Well, that's why we're moving to Zoom. Me and E-Man did a test yesterday with Zoom, and it's private. There's nobody that can jump in without the password.
Yeah,
it's password protected, but you got to use OBS with YouTube.
Unless you're just hanging out offline.
Yeah, and then you can have private messages offline, like the Google Hangout, without the drop-offs and the irritation and the ghosts and all that fun stuff that comes along with it. Not that I care, because whatever I say in private, I say here, so it doesn't matter to me. But
no, I have
sometimes like Ray and I, we'll get in very personal conversations. Jason, you and I have gotten personal conversations, things that we wouldn't necessarily want out, So.
And it seems like as soon as you get to talking about something important, and then you get dropped off. Like E-Man and I got dropped off how many times today when we were talking to you, Cowboy? About 5 at least.
5 or 6.
Oh, yeah. As a constant. I got to respond to Phyllis Wheeler. Phyllis, I don't know what it is. It makes me just so hot to all these things. But for some weird reason, all the guys with the little yellow tootsies just keep coming out of the corner every time I turn my head. I just lost half my subs.
Well, you want to give a final shout out to the room, Jason? That way we can let you go play with your computer for a while.
Yes. Let me pull up the participant list, and where did everybody go? They're all in lurker mode. They have to be.
Just scroll
right
through the...
now. All I'm showing is you and Phyllis Wheeler. We've got Rain on the Plains, Mikey W, who went to bed. We've got Salted Cedar. We've got Wake Up News. And I'm still going, guys. Don't worry about it. Mr. Peanut Stonebender. Let's keep going here. We've got Armored Up. We've got Char K. Rain on the Plains on the panel. William Young was in and out. He was in and out so quick it made my head spin. I didn't even get a chance to say hello to him earlier. For that, I apologize. We've got Scrappy. Yep. I'm still going, guys. There's more. I know there's more. We've got the Taekwondo. We've got Jenny T. Wake Up News. I think I got him already, but we're going to do him again. And we've got Fizzy in the house.
Right. So, Rain, are you going to be able to join us later in an hour?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly.
Okay,
I'll have to see, but okay, yeah, just send me an invite, and I don't know if that I can lend much to the discussion on that, but
okay. Hey, Tammy,
right.
we're about closing down, Tammy, but Jason's going to go live on his channel in about an hour. He's going to go over scams. What is it, Jason?
Email scams.
Email scams.
You're going to love this stuff. You're going to love what I got. I've been saving these for a long time, just building up. And now I'm getting bombarded with a whole new scam that I want to bring up. I just got hammered with it hard today. I must have got 400 messages. Yeah, I'll bring it all up in my my live stream. It's going to take me a while to go through everything because I want to, clear out my folder real quick. That way, I've just got the 12 emails I want to put up. But these are hilarious. They're great. If they were true, I'd be worth $100 million right now. But they're not true, so I'm still flat broke. Macaroni and cheese is a luxury.
William says, I thought he said female scams. Yeah, we could do a whole stream on that one, too.
I'm not making it rain. I'm making it hail. I'm not throwing dollars. I'm throwing nickels.
Awesome.
All right. Well, see you guys later. I'll probably, if I don't, I might come in for a little bit. I just don't know what I'd have to offer, but I might come in, but I'll definitely, I'll definitely check it out for sure.
Well, okay,
So,
when you do,
right.
I want you to bring your
Tammy
friend.
Sanford's gotten 3 emails in the last week from Publishing Clearinghouse.
What? Hey, Rain, all you got to do is speak in that French accent. It doesn't matter what you bring. It's all good.
I forgot that you guys liked that when I did that. I have some other accents too, but all right. Well,
we'll have all of them.
I was thinking of narrating a British book or short story one time and see how the Brits jump on me to see if I get them right, But anyways, okay. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna get off here.
All right. Take care.
All right, everybody. Have a good night and have a good trip to the Isles.
That's good. All right. Bye-bye, guys.
All right, we'll see you over at Jason's stream in about an hour. Everybody.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
you guys.
Hey, I
Love
forgot
y'all.
Preliminal.
There you go.
Preliminal came back. You came back just in time for us to say goodnight. Hey, everybody. You have a good night. Be safe. I will see you on my channel at 9 Central Standard Time. I've got a couple things to take care of, and enjoy your commercial break. Go find yourself some popcorn.
There you go. All right, take care, everybody. We will see you again, and we'll do all our 1,000 highs again, because that's what we do, right? So, all right, love you all, and we will see you in 1 hour. Thanks for joining. I hope you guys found it interesting. I certainly did. Take care.
Bye-bye.